Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the second chapter of the Choose Your Own Adventure story, which I started doing on this YouTube channel, on the Teacher Zdenek YouTube channel. My name is Zdenek. I'm an English teacher. And in this story, I'm basically asking ChatGPT to create a crazy made up story out of thin air, I suppose. Well, I gave it a few simple prompts, which, if you don't remember, I did present to you at the beginning of the first chapter. And I did read you the first chapter, read it out, and I explained some idioms and stuff. And now in this video, I would like to continue. I would like to pick up where I left off. And I would like to follow the story in the direction that you guys chose. You chose the adventure. You chose where the adventure will be heading next. But let's remind ourselves what happened in chapter 1. I'm going to I've asked ChatGPT to sum up the key points from chapter 1 so that we don't forget the story. So let's take a look. And let me just fix something here. Yeah, that's it. All right, so here we go. Zdenek, a heroic English teacher from the Czech Republic and proud host of Zdenek's English podcast and the Footglish podcast, receives a distress signal aboard his spaceship, the 10th Tutor 3000. Now, notice how we use present simple tense when we are sort of summarizing the plot, the storyline of a story. And for that, I think to give it some sort of impact, to make it more impactful, to give it more emphasis, we do use sometimes present simple tense like this. You can find it in blurbs, at the end of books. You can find similar short descriptions of what the book is about in this kind of way, using this present simple tense. Right, let's continue. The universal grammar system is under attack. Someone on the distant planet Grammarian, I always mispronounce this one, Grammarian 5, is misusing the Oxford comma and threatening to collapse English grammar into one messy, never-ending tense, the present continuous. Wow. I realized that I did not explain what Oxford comma is. Basically, they are making a big deal out of it in this story, but it's just the idea that you should use a comma when you are naming a series of elements. And then there is the word and, right, before the final one. For example, I like football, ice hockey, and volleyball. And the question is, should there be a comma before and? And I believe Oxford comma says that there should be. Oxford comma means that it's there just to make everything clearer for everyone. But you know what? Just to make sure I'm not teaching you some nonsense here, I'm going to take a look. Yes, the Oxford comma, also known as the serial comma, is the comma placed before the coordinating conjunction, usually and or. So it applies to or in a list of 3 or more items. Right. So it's not really that important, but here they are making a big deal out of it in this story. That's apparently what happened in chapter 1, and I can't really remember, but we can all watch that first video to remind ourselves of that. But yeah, he is contacted by Her Majesty. Let me say that again. He is contacted by Her Majesty's Secret Language Intelligence Division, abbreviated as HMSLID or HMSLID, maybe, and tasked with stopping the Grammar Gremlins before the entire galaxy starts saying things like, I am go to destroy the universe tomorrow at noon. Ooh, terrible grammar. It's awful. It should be I'm going to, right? Not I am go. Armed with courage, wit, and a metaphorical red pen, Zdenek prepares to make his next move. And I was given 4 options. You can see them on the screen. And the viewers on this video, or the subscribers of my channel, chose option 4. So I'm supposed to teleport to the Gremlin Council's secret chamber, disguised as a confused ESL student. Wow. So I will be basically pretending to be an English student, right? A student of the English as a second language, and I will be teleporting there. I suppose using a teleport, because that's what you do if you want to teleport, right? You need to find some sort of device that will transport you from one place to another. Now, notice that this is not the same as time machine. Time machine allows you to move through time. So you can either travel in the past, travel to the past, or to the future. But teleport, it's not really about time. It's about just sort of transporting, moving your entire body to another place. So imagine like you would just do that, and within a split second, you would be here in my recording studio here in Vietnam, right? So how realistic that is, I'm not sure, but I've heard that some people have been actually researching teleportation already. So who knows? We have got AI now, so we might as well one day discover teleportation. Who knows? But it's definitely been one of the most favorite, one of the most popular themes and sort of points of interest in science fiction movies over the years, right? Actually, it's a great one. I love teleportation. So I have to say, this is great choice, and I can't wait to see what will happen in chapter 2. Thank you very much for choosing this one. We are going to teleport to the Gremlin Council secret chamber, disguised as a confused ESL student. I think that might be fun. So let's pick option 4. Let's do option 4. Okay, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. This is chapter 2. This is what this video is about, and it's called A Wolf in ESL Clothing. Well, I think there is an idiom, a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? A wolf in sheep clothing. Is it wolf in sheep's or sheep clothing? Let's check this one. And that means that somebody is basically, sheep's. A wolf in sheep's clothing is someone or something, a person with a pleasant and friendly appearance that hides the fact that they are evil. So somebody is pretending to be very nice, but they are actually evil. So a wolf in ESL clothing, it's like a sort of play on words on that idiom, right? For that title. Zdenek stood in front of the teleportation pod. Now, pod can refer to the podcast, but it's also like, let's say, the teleportation sort of capsule or device, pod. Yeah, it's sometimes used as well for something like that. Wearing his most convincingly awkward ESL outfit. I like the combination of convincingly awkward. That sounds like an oxymoron. You know what an oxymoron is? It's usually 2 words which basically kind of contradict them each other in some way. For example, something like happily married. Although some people would point out that you can be happily married, but okay, pretty awful. If you say pretty awful, like pretty is something positive and awful is very negative. So here we are. I'm wearing my most convincingly awkward. Convincing is like a good word, and awkward, if it's awkward, it means it maybe is not right for the occasion. It's going to create some tension maybe for the people who see it. I don't know, or people will laugh at me. We will see. I'm curious. I'm also apparently wearing mismatched socks. A London in the capital of Paris t-shirt. Sorry, London is the capital of Paris t-shirt. What? London is the capital of Paris? That doesn't sound like it makes any sort of sense, right? London is the capital of the UK, as far as I know, and Paris is the capital of France. What the hell is going on there? Uh, but mismatched socks, that could actually happen. You know, that's quite realistic. Yeah, I'm not always careful enough, right? I can be a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Absent-minded, let's say. Yeah, it can happen. And a backpack overflowing with notebooks labeled grammar is heard. Instead of hard, there is HURD. So the spelling is intentionally wrong. Grammar is heard. It's funny. Okay. He activated the disguise module and selected the accent preset. What am I saying? The accent preset. So you have like presets are options like in the factory settings, right? Of your phone, for example. You have several things you can choose from. Those are presets. So I activated the disguise module, right, in order to sort of hide there as a student. And I selected the accent preset called Nervous B2 Student from Central Europe. Nailed it. Okay, so everybody knows the word nervous. B2 means upper intermediate level. Okay, it's actually a high level of this English learning journey, I would say. Perhaps some of you watching this are at this level, and if you are, then congratulations. It's a very high level. After that, there is only advanced C1 level, and then C2 level is proficiency. So there's not much to achieve after that, right? Well, it's actually a lot. But anyway, yes, I am from Central Europe. Thank you very much for not calling the Czech Republic Eastern Europe, which every Czech citizen, not every, but most Czech citizens hate, because we hope we belong to Central Europe, right? Not Eastern Europe, because that has some negative connotation, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Right, nailed it. If you nail something, you just get it completely right. It's a lovely idiom. Maybe you say something, yeah, you say something to your boss, and your colleagues then overhear it, and they say, yes, Zdenek, you absolutely nailed it. You said the right thing. Right, okay. Within seconds, he materialized in a dimly lit underground chamber on Grammar 5. Dimly lit underground chamber. It means the lighting is not very good there. Dim, if something is dim, it means it's like kind of shadowy. It's a bit suppressed. The light is suppressed. It's not very bright. It's the opposite of bright, right? There is some light, but it's dim. Grammar 5. So I'm in the chamber now. Wow. The secret council of Grammar Gremlins was in session. If something is in session, it means it's in progress. It's happening right now, right? They sat in a circle, sipping decaf English breakfast tea and muttering things like, let's replace all phrasal verbs with emojis. Past simple, bit old-fashioned, don't you think? I have banned the word literally. Literally. Wow, those are some interesting things they are discussing there in the secret council of Grammar Gremlins on the planet Grammar 5. And they are all sitting in a circle, which really makes it look like some kind of a cult or some sort of really important secret meeting. And yeah, decaf breakfast, I believe it's without caffeine, right? Decaf, I think, means no caffeine, right? Sipping means that I'm kind of drinking it slowly, like a sip after sip, right? Decaf. What is decaf? Whoa. Okay, I will have to check it because I want to be sure that I'm not teaching you some nonsense. So decaf. Oh my God. What is happening, Zdenek? I think I must have misspelled it. Wow. Those are the days, right? Sometimes when it rains, it pours. Decaf. Have I misspelled it? I can't have done. Yes, I have. Yeah, I wrote actually defac. Yeah, I wrote it the other way around. Oh my God. Decaffeinated coffee, exactly, right? So basically, you don't have caffeine there or less caffeine. Yeah, that's it. Yes. Okay. I was right. Just wanted to check, just to be sure. So they want to replace all phrasal verbs with emojis. Emojis are those, you know what emojis are, like the smiley emoji, the frowning emoji, the surprised one. Yeah. All those little sort of icons that we use in text communication mainly. And yeah, so they want to do that. And they also don't like past simple apparently. Yeah, that because they remember they want to make one they want to make sure that there's only 1/10. That yeah, it's these guys. Yeah, I have to stop them at any cost. It's so important. The future of the English grammar rests upon my shoulders. It's a lot of responsibility, I have to say. I'm getting a bit nervous here. Okay, Zdenek shuffled in timidly. Sorry, Zdenek shuffled in timidly and said in deliberately clumsy English, "Hello, MIB in the right room for English improvings?" I love this. I love this. So I'm pretending I can't speak English, basically, or I speak English very badly, very poorly. Shuffled in, I guess it means sort of I moved in, right? Shuffle. You can also shuffle the cards, like when you're playing a card game, such as or something. Before you start playing, you shuffle the cards, right? And then there is this song, "Every Day I'm Shuffling." You know that one? Shuffle also means to move, I think. Yeah. Hello, I am. Am I gonna read that again? No, because I would probably mess it up. Yes, a gremlin with a monocle and an ironic mustache. What does an ironic mustache look like? That's weird, right? Ironic mustache. I honestly have no idea. But he has a monocle. You know what a monocle is? I think in some languages this could be a false friend. Because, for example, in my first language, in Czech, a monocle is something that happens to you when they punch you in the face, in the eye. And in English, that's a black eye. But a monocle, I think, is used by some sort of scholars or used to be used by scholars in the past. It was like a little lens, I think, that helped you read. It's like like instead of glasses, you would have this monocle, right? And that would be a way for you to read something, to see the letters bigger, I guess. I hope I'm saying this right. I'm not gonna check it. Yeah, I can't check everything here. If it's wrong, it's wrong, and you guys have the opportunity to correct me. But that's what a monocle is, as far as I'm aware. Who let in the walking conditional clause? Okay, so that's interesting. Another cackled. Cackled. What does cackle mean? I believe it's just to laugh nervously, I think. No, it's not to laugh nervously. It means to make a loud sound of a chicken. But it also means to laugh. So it does mean to laugh, but more like something like that, right? Does that sound like a chicken? I hope it does. Yeah. Well, another cackled. Maybe he wants to conjugate with us. All these puns, they are terrible. Conjugate, yeah, you can conjugate a verb, but in the English language, the only thing that happens in terms of conjugation is the s in third person singular. I work, he works, she works, right? That's how we conjugate in English. Yeah? In other languages, like in my first language, you would have different endings for all different pronouns, right? We, they, I, you. Everything has a different ending. The verb does. So actually, it can be quite tricky. But the English language is pretty simple, right? Okay. Zdenek laughed nervously, trying to blend in. So if you're trying to blend in, you're sort of trying to uh, do things as other people are doing. He's sort of trying to do as the Romans do, in order to not to be noticed, not to stand out like a sore thumb. Um, yeah. Let me check that one as well. Stand out like a sore thumb. Yeah, that's right. It means like you basically you're different from everyone else, right? You stand out like a sore thumb. Sore thumb. Imagine your fingers, all are okay, and one of them, the thumb in this case, is just, I don't know, maybe you, instead of hitting the nail with a hammer, you hit your thumb. So perhaps that's what happened there. But anyway, let's continue with this crazy story. So I laughed nervously, trying to blend in. So I guess I didn't cackle in this case, right? Cackling would not be. I think I would be, well. In this case, someone else was cackling. So I suppose if I cackled, it wouldn't create any suspicion, right? But no, I laughed nervously. Because that's what students do, right? They laugh nervously. They are nervous, right? Because they are scared that the teacher will call on them and the teacher will test them and stuff like that. The teacher will ask them questions. Actually, I was never this kind of student. I was always wanted to ask questions and have the answers from the teachers. I always wanted that. Okay, let's continue, Zdenek. He noticed a glowing orb on the plinth in the center of the room. It must be the syntax core, the source of the grammatical chaos. If he could just get close enough. So, okay, glowing orb. Orb is some sort of, how to describe it? It's some sort of a thing that is illuminating, a sort of shining, glowing in this case, and it's like a round thing, right? An orb. It's often used like in magic. You would have an orb. It's like shiny sphere, maybe sphere. What? Yeah, and I don't know what a plinth is though, so I'll have to find that word for us. Plinth is a heavy base supporting a statue or vase, right? So obviously it's like a base, and on top of that vase or vase, you would have that orb, because that orb cannot, I suppose, levitate there, right? But it was in the center of the room. It must be the syntax core. So some important syntax is basically a study of how sentences are formed together and how they function as sentence elements and all kind of stuff like that. So this was the source of the grammatical chaos, and I wanted to get close enough, to touch it or to do something with it, to tamper with it. I don't know. But just then, the gremlin reader rose and pointed a hairy finger. So the gremlin leader, I guess, is a bit older. I suppose older people have hairy fingers. No, I think so. And the leader, yeah, is like the main guy, and he rose. So to rise, yeah, it's like kind of like in this case to make yourself look bigger, like to stand up, I suppose, to rise. And pointed a hairy finger. You there, demonstrate your understanding of English grammar now, or be fed to the apostrophe abomination. Whew. Gulp. Gulp is if you do this. You would do that if you were put in a position like that. It's really scary, right? Because basically I'm being threatened to be consumed by this apostrophe abomination, some sort of monster apostrophe is, of course, that little mark that we use, for example, before S, in genitive S, when you say Zdenek's story, right? Or Peter's book, whatever. That S, that apostrophe abomination, right? I suppose is some sort of, we have to use our imagination here. It's some sort of monster that will eat me or could eat me. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, your choice is really important, because I could literally die here. You could see the last of me here on this YouTube channel. So make sure you make the right choice, please. I'm begging you at this point. I need you guys to go to the comment section again and choose one of these 4 options, okay? I can stall for time. Stall for time, that's a good expression to learn. If you stall for time, you're basically trying to slow things down, to sort of, you don't want to rush things. You want to save time. You want to basically hold some people up, maybe. Hold them up, right? You don't want them to make a decision. You don't want them... I'm being asked, I'm being encouraged to demonstrate my ability of the English grammar, and that's something I should say, something like, well, that is a great task. What a wonderful task, like to stall for time a little bit, right? So I will be pretending that I don't understand the question, and I will be asking, what means this demonstrate, which is not the right way. You should be asking that. You should instead say, what does demonstrate mean? But I'm pretending to be bad at grammar, right? I'm pretending to, I don't think this is a good option, because I would already screw up by basically choosing wrong grammar in that question. What means this demonstrate? You have to say, what does this demonstrate mean? So please don't choose that one, even though if you want me to suffer, if you want to see me suffer, or if you want to get more of this abomination in the story, then I suppose you could choose it. Listen, I don't really care. It's just it's a made-up story. It's not really going to happen to me for real. Yeah? I'm not going to die in this story. I am going to die one day, but not inside this story, because it's all made up. Yeah? It's not real. And if you were thinking it's real, then go get yourself checked. Yeah, visit a shrink just in case. Yeah, something is wrong with your head. Please do, for your own sanity. Okay, I could also whip out a flashcard and try to teach the gremlins the present perfect as a distraction. So I could distract them, right? Maybe they will forget what they asked me to do if I distract them. So whip out, I suppose you just take it out of your pocket or something quickly. If you whip it out like a whip, you know. What's the sound of a whip? Like a succubi would use a whip, right? Flagellation, that's what we are talking about here. Whip out a flashcard, but in this case, it's like to take it out of your pocket, I would say. Right? Just quickly find it somewhere and immediately show it to them. Flashcards are those cards that you can use in order to learn vocabulary, right? You write it on one side, and on the other side you have a definition or a picture, and then you can test yourself, right? You can sort of practice with flashcards. Okay, this is interesting choice, of course. That would be option 2. Option 3, pretend to faint and hope the gremlins are too grammatically confused to check his pulse. That's not right. Pretend gremlins are too grammatically confused to check his pulse. I think they mean my pulse, right? Okay, that makes sense. Right, so pretend to faint. Faint means to pass out. Yeah, you lose consciousness. You faint, maybe because it's too hot. It could be too hot, you faint. You sort of like, ugh, and you lose consciousness, you faint. Okay, that's an option too, of course. Just, just to make sure that I don't speak, I don't demonstrate my grammar knowledge, because I think it looks like I don't know much. I don't know enough based on this story. I think I'm not supposed to know enough in order to complete my task, because I have to. I'm disguising myself as an ESL student, right? So it's all making sense. I can't just suddenly show off my grammatical knowledge and start teaching them conditionals 1, 2, 3, conditional 0, mixed conditionals. What would they think? They would immediately saw through the lie, right? They would know. They would catch me red-handed. I don't want that to happen. So option 4, make a run for the syntax core, trusting his agility from years of avoiding students' homework excuses. So this is, I think, the most risky one, or the most bold one, let's say, the boldest one of all those options, right? This is the one where I sort of just go for it. I just make a run for the syntax core immediately. Right. So what should I do? It's up to you. I need your help. I can't do this alone, that's for sure. When I see there are some answers, I will record chapter 3 of this crazy story. I hope you guys like it. I think it's interesting, to say the least. But you should be the judge of that, because you are the viewers. So I think the first one got quite a few views, which is good. So let's see if we can get more this time. And please don't forget to like the video as well. I've been Zdenek. You've been watching the second chapter of this Choose Your Own Adventure story. What is it called? Grammar Gremlins or something like that. This one was called A Wolf in ESL Clothing. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.
I'm Nadia, and I like the Achievers Chamber because it's an amazing place to meet different people from around the world, and it's like traveling.
For more information about the Achievers Chamber, go to teacherzdenek.com.